Yeah, it works now. Yeah.
Okay, first December 2024. I'm speaking with Dr. Ralf Schlatterbeck. Hi. And today we're speaking about the upcoming Python conference 2025 in Eisenstadt, Austria. Hello, Ralf.
Hi.
Ralf, I hear that you have already thinking of three submissions for talks that you may will hold there.
Yes, maybe. Maybe I hold one on the Linux Day, which is also in Eisenstadt, I think around the same time. But what I'm thinking about is talking about genetic algorithms, or more like evolutionary algorithms, which is the broader field. Because I've done some work in that, and I'm maintaining a package which is also available in Python. It also has Fortran bindings, but you don't need them these days. And yeah, that might be interesting for the conference.
So it will most likely be some Python talk about how to use genetic algorithms.
Yes, with examples.
With examples, very cool. I look personally very forward to it. Can you talk a bit about your previous experiences? I know that you visit a lot of Linux days as a speaker, but can you talk a bit about the Python conferences you have been, or your background in Python, so that our audience?
Well, I've been to mostly to conferences that were in Austria, not so much Python conferences abroad. I go to many Linux conferences because I think the wider open source community is also very interesting. And I've had quite some years of experience with Python. I'm maintaining, for example, the bug tracker roundup, which was used for bugs.python.org before Python moved to GitHub. Well, so yes, I'm involved with some Python projects.
And can you tell how did you personally learn Python? It was not part of your scientific education. I think
No.
you learned it yourself.
Yes. Well, I just started. I was using Perl at the time, many years ago, and started doing things in Python. And there was a time when you start something in Perl because you're used to it and it's only quite a small project. And then you switch over because it's so much easier in Python. So after a short while, it's really a better language.
I see. Yeah. And what was your education? So you computer sciences training? Or?
Yes, I have studied computer science and did my PhD on computer science in Vienna Technical University.
And which I think this was some years ago. So which languages were your language that you learned officially during your university years?
C was one of the main languages. Not so many other languages. We did some Fortran and some projects because this was a long time ago. And you could pick other languages, but most of the things I learned not in a curriculum or something.
You learned yourself.
Yeah.
In your experience, because you know quite long in the you work quite long self-employed as a programmer. Can you say in your experience after how many years usually you have to learn a new language because simply the technology moves ahead or the world moves ahead and you have to
I think
forget what you learned in university.
Yes, I don't think you have to do that very often, especially not with Python.
So you think it will stay?
But it's good for your education. So looking into new languages from time to time, especially into other programming paradigms like functional programming or things like that, that can improve your view of the world, so to speak. So it's a good idea to do that. Yes, yeah. So I don't think you need it because the whole world is moving to Java, and so you don't. If you want to be in that business, you don't need a new language too often. C++ is also still being used very much, and if you want to make things that exist available for Python, it makes sense to be fluent like in C or in C++. Because many existing libraries are written in languages like that. But Rust is coming. Rust is a very interesting language. Yeah.
You do yourself some Rust?
No, not
yet.
too much. No,
Okay.
but it's. I've read a lot about it, but I've not too much experience programming in it.
This is more generic questions. Maybe you answer more from your experience about visiting Linux Days, because Python Conference 2025 in Eisenstadt is also together co-hosted by the Linux Wochen Burgenland. And can you say what is this, what you personally seek when going to let's say a conference like a Linux Day or a Python conference, or a nerd gathering?
Yes,
What
nerd gathering is certainly one of the things. I'm usually looking into I'm going to talks and look what I find. So that's looking what other people are doing is the main motivation.
So we are in shock that the coffee machine want to join the conversation.
Yes.
So for you, basically, it's the social aspect to see
Yes.
what other people are doing, what are their
Yeah.
projects, to stay informed
Yes.
technically and socially.
Yeah. But I'm also going with friends to conferences, and we are there together, meet friends who you see only at conferences from time to time. So yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Ralf.
Thank you especially for organizing the conference.
Let's see.
Thank you.